learn from Dr. Goodנייt regarding the incredible culture that they have had the opportunity to create at SaaS. And Dr. Goodנייt, thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts with us. Sure. And let's start at the very beginning. 35 years ago, it was not commonplace to focus on your employees. And so you really revolutionized the approach, and you were a pioneer in focusing on your employees from day one. Could you share with us a little bit about your philosophy? What inspired you to do that?
Well, initially, the 4 out of 5 of the employees were owners of the company. So it seemed to make sense to me to spend as much money on ourselves as we possibly could. And that philosophy, it still works today, because if you don't spend the money on the employees, the money goes to Washington and they give it away to people that don't work. So. I hate to see money leave. I'd rather just spend it right now and give it to the employees rather than have to pay taxes on the profit and send that to Washington. It also has been great in helping the retention. Our retention rate among employees, we have only about a 4% turnover a year. Last year it was only 2%. So, providing benefits, and all the benefits are deductible. They're an expense to the company. They are not counted as income to the individual, except in the case of daycare. If you're beyond a certain limit, you have to pay some tax on that money. And now they're going to try to grab some money back from health care in the coming years too. If you get health care covered, they're going to try to tax that. But by and large, most of the things are deductible.
Thank you. And this year, you were recognized as the #1 best company to work for in the U.S. Congratulations again for that wonderful award, and just a quick round of applause again for that. And so could you share with all of us what that means to you personally, as well as to SaaS as a company?
Well, we've been on that list now for 13 years. I think we started out in 2nd place, and we were 3rd place one year. We've been in the top 10 list a number of years. But I'm very proud of the fact that we're recognized as being #1. I think we've always had a great place to work, and I think maybe this year the employees went a little bit overboard extra to vote us #1 because of the fact that I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that back in January of 2009. I did a global webcast to talk to all the employees, and I made it very clear that SaaS would not have any layoffs in 2009. I said nobody's going to get a raise either, but that's the way it is. At that time, people were just terribly concerned about losing their jobs. People all over their neighborhood were losing jobs and getting laid off, and I thought the best thing we could do for our people was to let them know. And we were able to do that because we're a private company. Okay, so I made it very clear. Look, if our profits go down 5 or 10%, fine. I'm willing to accept that to keep all of you on board. But if you would, please do watch your expenses this year. Well, they did. Our profits went up.
And so let's expand on that a little bit, because obviously you were recognized as #1 in one of the toughest economic climates that we've had really in recent history here in the U.S. And so you made the commitment and you delivered on it not to have layoffs and not to cut the benefits package for your employees, and yet so many other companies had to. So how was SaaS able to stay top of your game while other companies were faltering during these economic times?
Well, I think a lot of other companies that are public especially, bowing to the pressures of Wall Street, felt like they had to try to maintain profits and they had to lay people off to make Wall Street happy, as if Wall Street knew what the hell they were doing, they just about took the whole country down, but yet somehow people that are CEOs of public companies feel like they've got to do what Wall Street wants them to do. I don't have to listen to that nonsense. I think we're very lucky. Besides, I couldn't possibly think about laying off anybody in R&D. R&D is 2 years behind already. And, that would just make it even that much longer before we got the next release or two out. So it's a difficult thing to even think about getting rid of people in R&D. So.
And along the way, kind of balancing the pressure of a fast-paced, growth-oriented business with continuing to raise the bar for the treatment of your employees, how are you able to overcome the challenges of that natural tension?
I've never felt any natural tension about that. We're not that fast-paced growth. I mean, most years 15% we consider normal, and very happy with that. So, we're not doubling in size year after year. 15% is about as much as we can really absorb and maintain the culture. And the culture is very strong at SAS. As a matter of fact, I've brought a few high-level executives in from outside, once in a while, and it's amazing. They just don't last more than about 6 months at the most. It's like a foreign body has invaded a system, and the white corpuscles gather around and slowly push it out, And it's amazing how people that don't fit in find out that they don't fit in somehow or another, and they have to go.
And the many employee perks and benefits that you have at SAS, they're well known, they're world renowned, and lots of companies and even people in general look at that list and they're kind of doing the mental calculation, adding up all of the expenses associated with that. How would you describe that in terms of the value of the investment that you're making in the business?
Well, it's pretty simple to me. You either spend your money on your employees, keeping them happy and wanting to stay there, or you lose a lot of employees and spend the same amount of money on headhunters and training and everything else. So why wouldn't anybody prefer to give money to their own employees versus giving it to headhunters? I hate headhunters anyway.
And the final question then for us is, how does the incredible culture that you have created at SAS enable you to deliver exceptional customer service and to work with your business partners so well?
Well, customer service, I talk about tech support, for example. The average person in tech support has been there 15 years. They've heard almost every problem anybody's ever had, and they know the answer just like that. So that kind of loyalty to the company is extremely beneficial to our customers. I've always believed that if you can keep your employees very satisfied, create a great environment for them to work in, then they are going to be wonderful to the customers. I mean, think about the times that you go in and employees are mad at management. They don't treat you very well.
No, they don't.
Or if you're a baggage handler for the airline, you sort of rip off a few tags, as it comes by, and you lose your baggage forever. So that's happened to probably everybody. But that's what can happen when management doesn't, when they don't treat their employees the way they should.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Goodנייt, for sharing with all of us your insights about the incredible culture that you have created at SAS, and congratulations once again for achieving the pinnacle of being recognized as this year's #1 best company to work for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I was just enjoying sitting.
Okay, well, you can sit here if you like.
Go ahead and do your thing. Would you like this food?
No, you can stay if you want to.